Hi, everybody. Welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. One of the biggest Broadway hits of the 1970s came from a newspaper comic strip that had been around for 50 years. Harold Gray originally called his creation Little Orphan Otto, but changed it at the last minute. Otherwise, I'd be standing here telling you about a movie musical called Otto. Instead, of course, talking about Annie. Released by Columbia in 1982, Annie is based on that Little Orphan Annie comic strip, which ran from 1924 until, believe it or not, 2010, 86 years. But its most popular period came during the 1930s, and that's when our story is set. The nation is in the grip of the Great Depression, and Annie lives in poverty with a group of other orphans under the thumb of the conniving Miss Hannigan. Then a millionaire, Daddy Warbucks, takes Annie under his wing and promises to help her find her parents, opening the door for Miss Hannigan and her con artist brother and his girlfriend to take Warbucks to the cleaners. Annie premiered in 1977 when big splashy musicals, especially ones with hopeful songs like Tomorrow and a happy ending, were considered out of style. But Annie beat those odds and won 7 Tony Awards, ran for 6 years. Its success attracted the attention of Hollywood, and the rights to Annie were sold for a record $9.5 million. Producer Ray Stark knew his way around a musical. He had produced Funny Girl, but his choice of John Huston to direct Annie was certainly a controversial one. Some argue Huston did a masterful job bringing the story to the screen while keeping a tight rein on the production numbers. Others disagree, some of them strongly. The performances, on the other hand, were uniformly praised. From 1982, starring Albert Finney as Daddy Warbucks and Carol Burnett as Miss Hannigan, as well as Bernadette Peters, Tim Curry, and newcomer Aileen Quinn as the title character, here's Annie. In the years since Annie was released in 1982, we've had an onslaught of Annies, Broadway revivals, TV specials, and a 2014 remake with Quvenzhané Wallis as Annie, Jamie Foxx as the Warbucks character, and Cameron Diaz as Miss Hannigan. Edward Herrmann, who played President Franklin Roosevelt in the 1982 version, was a dependably strong character actor in his own right, and he practically built a career playing FDR. He was nominated for Emmy Awards for playing Roosevelt in 2 different TV movies from the 1970s, Eleanor and Franklin and Eleanor and Franklin, The White House Years. In both of those movies, Herrmann played opposite Jane Alexander as Eleanor Roosevelt. Herrmann also did lots of presidential-sounding voice work on the History Channel, and he supplied the voice of FDR in the Ken Burns PBS documentary, The Roosevelts, An Intimate History. Edward Herrmann died on New Year's Eve in 2014. Up next, a feature-length animated film from one of Bugs Bunny's most able collaborators.